A Sell Stuff Guide. Chapter 1. Sell your stuff. Sell your stuff. One person's junk is another person's treasure. Sometimes you get ripped buying used or buying something from an online auction, at a garage sale or flea market. The rule is don't buy stuff that wears out. Furniture doesn't really wear out. You can buy a couch for $100 through a Craigslist ad that you would pay $1,000 for at a furniture store. Be wary about buying a used car because people hide problems with cars. You can buy stuff cheaper everywhere than you can pay for it at a retail store. It's just a matter of deciding what's worth buying used versus brand new. For some people, the idea is to buy cheap and resell. I was reading a mafia book about a mafia guy. I think it was Sammy the Bull Gravano. He said he made a lot of money doing legitimate things. Somebody brought him 1,000 leftover dresses from some clothing company. He rented a cheap storefront and started selling them. More clothing people brought him their leftover cheap clothes and he ended up making a ton of money selling cheap fashionable clothing. That's just one idea that can net somebody a lifelong business. There are websites for buying self-storage units like on those TV shows. There are grocery auctions where you bid for blocks or big packages of food. There are famous flea markets. There are flea markets on certain roads one day a year so that anyone can park on the side of that road and sell stuff. There are barter websites. You might want to sell some of your stuff because you need quick cash, or you might want to simplify your life. You can sell stuff by holding a garage sale, renting a table at a flea market, putting up free ads on library and college bulletin boards, putting free ads in the local bargain hunter newspaper, and going on the internet, Craigslist, putting your stuff on either a local used stuff website. Some colleges have this option on their website for students to buy and sell furniture, or go on one of them auction websites like ebay.com. I know Craigslist is a full-time business for some people because whenever I go on looking for computer supplies, I see the same people constantly advertising their stuff. If you can sell something half the price of Walmart, you can make a living with free ads on Craigslist. If there's an auction house near where you live, you might be able to put some things there that sell for a percentage commission. Advertise on free classified ads websites. Advertise free in the local recycler newspaper. Hold a yard sale. Sell your stuff websites. Gazelle.com buys old electronics equipment including computers. SimplyCellular.com cell phones. Greenphone.com cell phones. CashForCDs.com. SecondSpin.com CDs. CashForBooks.net. TonerBuyer.com, ink cartridges. RecyclePlace.com, toner cartridges. Sell antiques and collectibles. If you have some antiques and collectibles, if you read up on it a bit, you might be able to advertise at the right website that will net you some good cash. Try Coveles.com or TIAs.com for antiques. CSMOnline.com, Collectors Supermall. Combach.com, magazines. ScottPublications.com. Zeta.org.au/srcole, collectors directory. AaronsPriceGuide.com. ActionFarmToys.com. AntiqueReviewOhio.com. AntiqueToyWorld.com. Autographs.com, autographs. AutographCollector.com. BarbieBazaar.com, Barbie dolls. BCCA.com, Beer Can Collectors. BeanbagWorld.net. BeansMagazine.com, Beanbag Toys. BeatlowLogie.com, Beatles Stuff. Beckett.com, Collectibles Books. BiddersGE.com. Blocksite.com/MCC, Marbles. BPCN.com, Postcards. BuyCollectibles.com. Caswell.com. CatCollectors.com. CCGTTC.com, Casino Chips. ChallengeWeb.com, Car Toys. Collect.com. Collect.com/Palmer. CollectiblesCanada.ca. Collectiblistoday.com. collectingchannel.com, collectingmagazine.com, collectingnation.com, collectitnow.com, collectordetines.com, collectoronline.com, collectors.com, collectors.org. Antiques websites. The major antiques books are Cobbles Antiques and Collectibles Price List, Coveles.com, Maloney's Antiques and Collectibles Resource Directory, Warman's Antiques Price Guide. The most popular place is arguably the Cahale C Antiques Building at 25th St and 6th Ave in NYC, 212-929-0909, 12 floors of antiques with over 250 dealers. Try hashtag 740-741 and hashtag 745.1 at the library. AARF.com, Florida. TheAntiquesCompany.com. OldPlank.com. GoAntiques.com, information and services including appraisers, antique centers, show previews and publications. TIAs.com, TIAs, the Internet Antique Shop, search for antique stores by type of merchandise or by name of store. ISA-appraisers.org, International Society of Appraisers, search for an appraiser, learn what components should be included in an appraisal, view a code of ethics, or obtain educational information. castle-brther.co.uk, antique porcelain and figurines. minerva-antiques.co.uk. fleor-newyork.com, Fleur French and English stone statuary. wotoandwife.bc.ca, Victorian Antique Porcelain AC Guide.com, the Antiques and Collectibles Guide. aic.stanford.edu, Institute for the Conservation of. anahithagallery.com. antique.bz. antique.org. antiquealley.com. antiqueandcollectible.com. antiqueandcollectible.com/acdia, Antique and Collectibles Dealers Association. antiqueandcollectible.com/nom, Antique Malls. antiqueantics.com. antiqueappeal.com. antiqueappeal.com. antiquearts.com, the online gallery of fine. antiquecc.com, Antique Collectors Club. antique-corner.com, Ann Arbor Antiquesmarket.com. antique-expo.com. antiquefest.com. antiqueglass.com. antiquehotspots.com. antiqueinfo.com. antiquenetworking.com, Antique Networking. antiqueplazaonline.com. antiquepublications.com, 800-533-3433. antiqueresources.com. antiqueristers.com. Antiquestead website, try.com. antiques.ebay.com. antiques.ee. antiques.listings.ebay.com. antiques-atlas.com, United Kingdom. antiquescollectibles.com, Antiques and Collectibles. antiquescollectibles.com, Antiques and Collectibles in California. antiqueshopsusa.com. antiques-hq.com, antiquescollectiblesmore.com, one-of-a-kind-antiques.com. antiques-internet.com. antiquesonline.com. antiquesonly.com. antiques-orinoco.com. antiquesrow.com. antiquesworld.com. antiqueworld.net. arcantiques.ie, Architectural Antiques and Salvage, Dublin, Ireland. artaandantiques.net. artfact.com. atoz.com/web/antiques. auction-forsale.com. auctionuniverse.com. boston-antiques.com. brassarmadillo.com. brimfield-hotm.com. buriedantiques.com. christies.com. collect.com, 800-334-7165, magazine. collectingnetwork.com. computrends.com/antiquing. Computrends.com/antiquing.html. Cyberantiquemall.com. Delphi.com/antiquefreaks. Destiny-fashionable.com. dgshopper.com, Depression Glass. Directory.netscape.com/art/fine_arts. Directory.netscape.com/art/fine_arts/antiques. Dead website, trydmoz-odp.org/recreation/antiques. donsantiques.com. ebay.com. ehammer.com. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/advertising_antiques, old signs, etc. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/antiques. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/antiques_restoration. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/antiques_roadshow. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/newell_antiques, the largest antique store in New York City. ewolfs.com, fine art. faneco.com. fineartinvestments.org. glass.co.nz/links/links. goantiques.com. goantiquing.com. jantiques.com, info on antique jewelry. kaleden.com. coveles.com. lapida.co.uk, Association of Art and Antiques Dealers in England. lightimpressions.com, 800-828-6216, products to help you store your antiques. mainantiquedigest.com, 800-752-8521. mainantiquedigest.com, Main Antique Digest. melanisonline.com. mapbook.net, mapbook of antique shops. nhantiquealley.com, Association of dealers and shops located along NH Route 4, primarily in Chichester, Epsom, Lee, and Northwood, NH. antiquenet.com. antiques.com. oldansold.com. oldwatch.com. pbs.org/roadshow. pbs.org/wgbh/pages/roadshow. pricesforantiques.com. rowantiques.com. repronews.com. rom.on.ca. rtam.com. rubylane.com. rubylane.com, buy antiques at Ruby Lane. russoantiques.com, New York. showcaseantiquemall.com, Toronto. si.edu, Smithsonian. simplymarvelous.com. sotheby's.com. southern-bell.com. thebee.com. the-forum.com, International Arts, Antiques and Collectibles Forum. thingswebuy.com. tias.com, the Internet Antique Shop. tinkerware.com. top-bestaucton.com. trocadero.com, Trocadero Antiques Mall. trovenet.com. txantiquemall.com. universityproducts.com, 800-628-1912, products to help you store your antiques. workfutures.bc.ca/body/1235eb_t.htm. wwar.com. adkdesign.com, Adirondack Rustic Design. tias.com/stores/aalmw, Antique Accents. antiquealive.com, Antique Alive. antiquecamerasargentina.com, Antique Cameras. pendulaantique.com, Antique Clocks, Fine Horology and Collection. antiquesantwerp.com, Antiques Antwerp. artwoodstonestudio.com, Artwood Stone Studio, Fine Art and Fine Furniture. greatswfurniture.com, Great Southwest Furniture Design Incorporated. artoffurniture.com, I.A.care, The Art of Furniture. Align equals abs bottom. traderantiques.com, Martin Antiques and Fine Art. ozfairs.com, Ozfairs is the largest Australian online fair. Reclaimed WOODC of Feedable.com. AntiqueAlive.com. Tri-Stateantiques.com, Tri-State Antiques, period to mid-century modern. IndonesianWoodcarving.com, wood carving gifts, garden decor. Antique Appraisal Association. 11361 Garden Grove Boulevard, Garden Grove, California 92643. 714-530-7090. Chapter 2. Selling Ideas. Selling Books. Refer to my book on books and writing, then start by selling through Smashwords.com, Amazon.com, Kobo.com, and Lulu.com. The best subjects are books that provide help, ideas, inspiration, and information, or those that contain solutions to problems relating to economic conditions and social lifestyles. Virtually all successful books offer help or ideas in one or more of the following classifications: business, fame, health, job/careers, money, pleasure, security, self-help, sex. The publishing field is wide and diversified, ranging from the individual who writes from a home or office to a company employing 100 or more people. For more extensive information, refer to #070.5 at the library, the self-publishing section. American Booksellers Association. 122 East 42nd Street, NYC 10168. 212/867-9060. ombook.org. Book Dealers Trade Association. Used Book and Magazine Store. You can start a used bookstore and put the titles that you buy from people on the street on your website. There are lots of collectors of used books around. Ideally, a used bookstore will need a market population of at least 50,000 persons to support it. Try to locate your store in a high-traffic area as near as possible to a college or university campus. Find magazine distributors who package their popular unsold magazines and sell them for a few books for 2 or 3. Back issues of men's adult magazines can be particularly profitable. A magazine rack of the latest magazines helps too. A used bookstore is synonymous with alternative thinkers. You could expand in lots of different ways, like novelties, drug paraphernalia, tobacco, and even have a few chairs set up and sell cups of coffee and donuts. There is such a store in the city I live in. He sells used books, used CDs and DVDs, unsold back issue magazines, new magazines, some sex toys, some pornography, drug paraphernalia, tobacco, coffee, donuts, and other offbeat stuff. It's like it's an alternative store. Have an interesting sign on the outside, something like used books and novelties, come in and browse. Make people feel comfortable the first time in your store. Let them browse. You need an area with a lot of casual strollers who will see the sign and drop in. Locate your checkout counter parallel to one of the side walls. You don't want it blocking or guarding the easy entry or exit from your store. You want your customers to feel comfortable just visiting your store. Do everything you can to encourage the browser, because the browsers are the book buyers. Allow the people to come and go generally as they please, to pick up and thumb through the books that interest them, to read them and fall in love with them. Your bookshelves should run along each side wall and across the back of the store. Don't build them more than 6 feet high. Partition these shelves into sections about 4 feet wide, and at the top of each section, place a sign indicating the general subject matter of the books to be found in that section. A revolving wire rack, to hold currently popular or specially featured books and located at the front of your store, will be a special extra merchandising effort that will really pay off in the sales of your books. Used bookstores can hold little events to attract people, like have anybody come in to speak on any interesting topic. Just put signs up stating it advance. You could have open reading nights where anyone can come in to read their poetry, read their speech, sing a song, etc. If you cannot be there to open the store, then hire part-time help. The best arrangement is housewives or college students in 4-hour shifts at slightly above the minimum wage. Write out a list of duties you want each clerk to perform while he's on shift. In addition to taking care of sales transactions, you might want him to do some stocking, dusting, cleaning, sorting and pricing. You'll have fewer problems if you formally write these shift duties out and post them as job requirements and explain them when you interview for hired help. Beware who you hire. There is a lot of employee theft around. You might want to put a surveillance camera in focused on the cashier. Look for and try to hire only book lovers who are personable, outgoing, and have some sort of business aptitude. Put help wanted signs up at the local library. Train these people in all phases of your operation, with the thought in mind that they will run the store in your absence and eventually be your store manager. Talk with your customers. Recruit some workers from among them. Price your stock fairly, concentrate on personal service, then let word-of-mouth advertising and time do the rest. Run an ad in the yellow pages, perhaps an ad in the college paper, and from time to time, special sales ads in your local shopping newspapers. Inexpensive flyers inviting people in to exchange books or to just browse, can be printed at your local quick print shop and handed out or placed under the windshield wipers on the windshields of cars in the larger shopping center parking lots. Advertising and special sales during holiday periods such as Christmas, Mother's Day, and Father's Day are generally quite effective in bringing new customers into your store. Most used bookstore entrepreneurs use their own book collections as a startup inventory base. In addition, talk to as many neighbors, friends, and relatives as possible for the donation of books. Then start making the rounds of all the garage sales and flea markets. You should have at least 10,000 books in stock when you open for business. Search for books to sell, those you can buy for $0.25 or less, in all the thrift shops, Goodwill stores, and Salvation Army outlets. Church bazaars and estate sales can also sometimes provide you with almost complete libraries. You might place a small ad in your newspaper announcing that you're looking for good used books to buy. Generally, you evaluate a book according to the price you think you can get for it in your store. Then you subtract 2/3 of that total and offer that as your buying price. Always separate the books you feel certain you can sell from those you aren't sure about. It's going to take a while for you to become proficient as a book buyer, but with practice and some experience, you'll quickly develop the intuition you need to realize a profit on every book you buy. Always flip through the pages of each individual book and be sure of its condition before you quote a price. In many instances you'll also find that out of a box of 25 books, you're only interested in buying 10. The seller will generally be wanting to get rid of his books anyway, so for a couple of dollars more than your bid price on the 10 books you want, he'll let you have all 25 of them. This is like a windfall to you because you can always use the unwanted books as leader items or extras to generate traffic during 2-for-1 sales, all books on a certain table for just a nickel each, or your choice of free books for everyone coming in to browse on certain days. You should carry hardcover as well as paperback books. Pay no more than 25% of the new price for a mint condition used hardcover book and buy only those you are certain can be sold in your store. Pay no more than 10% of the new price for a mint condition used paperback. Have a section for sexually oriented books. They always sell well and hard to find except in a porn store, and most people are too intimidated to walk into one of them, but they'll walk into a used bookstore. When I was a teenager, this is how I got my porn, at the used bookstore. Below is a listing of the kinds or types of books you should consider stocking in your used bookstore. Business books, these should include books on leadership, career advancement, time management, and people management. How-to books, these should include all the self-help and self-improvement manuals you can find, mail order, auto repair, carpentry, metalwork, home building, gardening and business startup. Cookbooks, you'll probably be surprised at how many people buy books relating to the culinary arts. A well-stocked cookbook section will mean definite profits for you. Forget about books on dieting, home economics and etiquette, these just don't do well in used bookstores. Special interest books, watch and listen to the people of your area. Be on the lookout for people into World War history, aviation, sports perfection, movies, and just plain old book collectors. Paperbacks, women's romance, science fiction, mysteries, and historical novels are all good movers. The most feasible plan seems to be to give the customer a credit sheet for each book you buy from him. Simply have a supply of business cards promoting your store, printed at your quick print shop. On the back of the card, have them print something along these lines. The bearer of this card is entitled to ________________ cents credit on 50% of the listed purchase price of any book at Joe's used book store. Your signature. Then when someone brings in a couple of books to sell, you pay him in credit sheets, marking in the amount and signing your name on the card. An easier way might be to have your signature printed on the cards when you order them. You or a clerk would simply fill in the credit amount and emboss the card with a notary type embosser. Usually, you allow 20 to 25 cents for mint condition paperbacks and about 1/4 of your selling price for hardbacks. A great many used bookstores add to their income by running a used book website in addition to the retail business. The best used bookstore I ever saw was located on a corner across from a hospital. First off, it was a regular convenience store with food, drinks, etc., and then beyond the used books, it probably had the biggest magazine stand I ever saw anywhere right inside the store. There are very few places around that sell a lot of different magazines, foreign newspapers, etc. There were always several people browsing through the magazines whenever I went in. The owners didn't mind. The place had kind of a hippie intellectual atmosphere. They sold adult novels, the real trashy kind, gory detective magazines and outdated skin magazines in plastic packaging that they probably got directly from the manufacturer. Instead of paying $5 for a magazine with pictures of naked women in it, you could get one for about $2, so all the guys went in there to get their supplies. This was one of the only places I ever saw that sold outdated magazines for cheap. You can find the addresses of magazine distributors in a periodical directory at the library. Also, try to provide magazines for the computer market and get into cards and games that the sci-fi nerds play. Selling cosmetics or anything else. The procedures described here can be tailored for any product. There are 3 basic objectives in the mail order/internet sales business. Find a product that you can sell at a profit. Sell additional products to the same buyers. Build a mailing list and keep sending them new offers and new catalogs both by mail and email. It's imperative to strive to achieve all 3 simultaneously. Your first and perhaps most critical initial consideration is to find a product leader that you can sell at a bargain price, preferably $10 or less, and still make a reasonable profit. It should be something that can be adequately described in a small inexpensive ad and serve as a door opener to allow you to offer additional products to customers who have demonstrated an interest and willingness to buy that type of product. Your real profit will come from subsequent sales to the same customers. The smart way to proceed would be to purchase an initial supply of say 500 units from a company that can ship up to 5,000 more on short notice if necessary. Don't make the mistake of buying the last 500 they have. Place your ads and start a website offering the stuff at a low price. Use the word cheap, discount or bargain in your website name like cheapcosmetics.com, bargaincosmetics.com, discountcosmetics.com. It's possible to have the items drop shipped and avoid the investment in stock. Under this system, you fill out a shipping label for each individual order, with your return address, and mail it along with the wholesale price and all the P&H charge to the supplier, who mails the product direct to your customer as your warehouse. It would not be wise to attempt a mass mailing at this stage because of the cost, your inexperience, and the fact that there is a better way. Place a test ad in local then national publications that are read by potential buyers of your product. For cosmetics, candidates might include National Enquirer, 17 and True Romance. A small ad in one of these will run $75 to $200 but will reach up to 1 million readers. Simply use your website name with a few words saying cheap stuff for sale. Before proceeding with the $10 eyeshadow box, have several other products ready to go, that is, select those you can profitably and honestly merchandise. Prepare advertising sheets, flyers, with descriptions, prices, and order forms and include them with each eyeshadow box order. Never waste a mailing. Wouldn't a customer who paid $10 for an eyeshadow box also be a good prospect for lipstick, nail polish, or costume jewelry? Your customer list will eventually become a valuable product itself. Some mail order/internet sales brokers pay up to $1 each for customers who have purchased specific products recently, but first be sure to take full advantage of what you have yourself. Looking ahead to a possible next stage in your business, note that some companies will imprint their products with your name or brand. This opens the door to marketing your own line of products not from a huge initial investment and risk situation but as a natural, relatively inexpensive continuation of your current successful venture. Simply add their line of items to your flyers when ready for this step. As orders come in for your eyeshadow box, include a flyer for additional products, including more eyeshadow boxes, in every package you mail. The flyers should describe each product, list their advantages and possibly testimonials taken from customer letters. You can use their state and initials but not their name unless they give you permission. Don't forget to include an order form. Make it easy for customers to order your products. Get merchant credit card status. When there is no response, wait a couple of weeks and send out another batch of flyers and again at 3 months. When there are responses, start the same cycle over again until you run out of products. After 6 months or so, depending on how long the products last, contact them again to see if they need replacements. When there are periods of no response, you can occasionally send out another offer, something that mentions you haven't heard from them for a while and are making a special offer to regain them as customers. Periodically you have the option of gathering these names into groups of 1,000 and selling them to a mailing list broker or offering to rent them to non-competitive operations. Many mail order/internet sales-oriented companies routinely exchange names with non-competing businesses. After you get started, take an hour or so every few weeks to look over your system carefully. Check your supplies and prices, your forwarding procedures, packaging and systems for telling when to mail out what. Avon.com. MaryKay.com. Selling trash as treasure. Your trash could be someone else's treasure. Just look at the Antiques and Collectibles Roadshow. It's simply a matter of finding a collector or hobbyist interested in your junk. Pawn shops are doing this en masse, putting their inventory either on their own websites, on auction websites, on specific collectibles websites or all three. There are books on the market with such titles as I'll Buy That or Trash or Treasure, which list collectors of just about anything you can think of who buy things that people might have sitting around in their attics like old dolls, toys, comic books, clothes, clocks, furniture, antiques, just about anything that has nostalgic value. Look through the lists of antiques websites and collectibles websites elsewhere in this book. You might find such books at #381.46 at the library. Other selling techniques. Send out news releases. All mail order/internet sales dealers will attempt to get free publicity by sending out news releases to hundreds of magazines and newspapers. If you can get a few local news releases, this would be great. Get free reviews. There are hundreds of freelance writers that write columns for many different magazines and newspapers. If you send a letter and your product for their review, you may get a free mention in their writings. Write your own newsletter. There are thousands of newsletters now being published on every conceivable subject. If you have a flair for writing, this is an excellent way to earn a nice income while getting free publicity. Publish your own internet ad sheet. Hundreds of small mail order/internet sales dealers publish a small 1 to 4 page ad sheet. In it, they sell advertisements to others and also promote their own products and services. If this is done correctly, you make money by selling advertising and your ads are then essentially free. Get listed on search engines, blogs, etc. Trade mailing lists with mail order/internet sales dealers. Place copies of your circular on bulletin boards throughout your community, such as in coin-operated laundries, grocery stores, barber shops, etc. Concentrate on Fridays and Saturdays when shopping increases. Check with local newspapers. Before going to press, many smaller newspapers have space left that needs filling. Your ad may be just the right size to occupy this unfilled space and they will run it free. Place your circulars on windshields of parked autos. Youngsters will be happy to do this for you for $1 or $2. Check first with city ordinances to see if this is permitted in your locality. Leave sales literature on doorsteps of homes and businesses in your area. Do this on weekends in residential areas, weekdays for businesses. Have your best pulling ad made into a rubber stamp. Stamp this on envelopes of all of your outgoing mail. Check rubber stamp dealer ads in current mail order/internet sales publications for price information. When you have envelopes printed with your return address, have them also print your best ad directly beneath your address. It costs noting additional to have this printed on the front of your envelopes. If you publish a mail order/internet sales magazine, newspaper, ad sheet, etc., contact other publishers. If your circulation is equal to theirs, many will be happy to exchange an equal amount of ad space with you. Many publishers will give you free ad space for mailing a few copies of their publication. Simply write to them and ask if they will give you a free ad in exchange for mailing 50 to 100 copies of their pub. Write informative articles for mail order/internet sales trade publications and end them with your website name. Most publishers will give you free ad space for the use of your article. Take advantage of advertising specials. Many publishers offer ads on a 3 for the price of 2 basis or 4 for the price of 3, etc. This saving is the same as getting one ad free of charge. Some publishers offer a free classified ad with your first display ad. Watch for such specials. Use the free ad and pocket the savings. When starting a new publication, many publishers will offer reduced ad rates to help fill space. Watch for ads regarding such offers. In your ads, request a SASE, then insert some of your other offers in regular outgoing mail. This is the same as getting free advertising. Contact other dealers and state you will print and mail their circulars for this price with no conflicting ads on the back, then print your circulars on the reverse and distribute them with your outgoing mail. There is no extra cost for postage and envelopes, and your side of the circular is paid for by your customers. If you use a postage meter machine, use the ad space directly left of stamp imprint for a free message. What not to sell? If you sell something illegal, you get in a lot of trouble. If you sell something that's not illegal but in bad taste, some people will shun you, including your family and friends. Some activists might try to target you for undesirable actions. Some questionable things to sell are as follows. Stolen goods. Goods that don't belong to you. They belong to family members and/or friends. Things that somebody else has the copyright to, like music, books, etc. Sell anything you call an antique or collectible without checking on its authenticity. Archaeological artifacts that could be illegal, stolen from protected countries or sites. Liquor without a license. Firearms without a license. Anything controversial that needs a license. Counterfeit brand name goods. Counterfeit money. Counterfeit stamps. Desk ramblers for cable TV. Drugs, recreational. Drug paraphernalia. Drugs, prescription without a license. Fake ads. Fireworks. Health products with impossible claims. Human organs. Pornography. Rare and endangered animals. Scalp tickets to events. Slot machines. Unsafe products. Chapter 3. Selling hobby products. Selling hobby products. To begin, you must first find a hobby that appeals to you. Next, you must spend several weeks researching that hobby. You must learn what collectors want and how much they are willing to pay for it. You should also know what other dealers are willing to pay for the merchandise which they sell, and you must be willing to pay the same amounts. For tax purposes, there is a fine line between a hobby and a business. The IRS defines a hobby as an activity from which you do not expect to make a profit. The general rule is that you must make some profit in 3 out of 5 years to legally take the hobby expenses as business deductions. This rule is not generally applied to obvious businesses like a shoe store on Main Street, however, it is for race horses and leather crafts, which they consider more likely to be hobbies than businesses, and they're probably right most of the time. Business expenses and losses are deductible. Hobby losses can be deducted up to an amount taken in and then only if you itemize on Schedule A. When you make the decision to convert your hobby into a business, it is necessary to do several additional things. First, you should figure out exactly what it costs to make each product, including your labor at the going rate. You must be able to intelligently predict how many you can turn out and how quickly. Keep accurate records of all business-related transactions. You can only deduct expenses for which you have records. Once you compute your production costs, you can estimate your retail and/or retail rates. A general rule is 2 times your cost for wholesale, 4 times for retail. For example, something that costs $5 to make would be priced at $12.50 wholesale and $20 retail. You must be able to make a fair profit at the wholesale price, and dealers should receive about 40% of the retail price as their profit. If you retail and wholesale both, you must be careful not to undercut your dealers. When you say the suggested retail price is $20, make sure you do not sell that product for any less or your dealers will leave you cold. It really doesn't matter what your hobby is as long as it is a product or service that others will buy. As you convert to a business, it might be necessary to alter your production methods and even the products themselves. If you make a nice hobby horse, you will probably want to figure out a way to make them more efficiently. You have the choice of turning out 1 masterpiece a week for $100 or 10 good ones at $10 a piece. Your decisions may well be influenced by demand as well as your personal preference. If you make pillows and someone likes your work and wants a bedspread, why not? You can do just that one bedspread or expand your business to include bedspreads as an additional product if it looks like they will sell well. Depending on the degree that you would like to go into marketing, plan to showcase your products or show them in their best possible light. Notice how jewelry stores display their wares exquisitely on dark velvet under small spotlights, not ordinary fluorescent lights, to make them gleam and sparkle. That's showcasing. If you are artistic and have the means to make up a catalog to send prospective customers, fine. Take flattering pictures of your products with complementing backgrounds and have them printed in brochures or booklets. Black and white pictures are better for non-color reproductions because they offer better contrast. You can also advertise with pictures, if available in the local media, newspapers, radio, cable TV, small magazines, or even by mail. It is usually a good idea to test market your products before spending a lot on advertising. Once you have selected your field, start a file. Keep copies of all the ads selling your kind of merchandise. Also keep ads showing the dealers' buying prices. If price lists are offered in ads, send for them and study them. Become an expert in your field. Try to locate any publication that deals with your field. Your next step is to look for merchandise in your own community. Here are some suggestions. Start by attending flea markets and antique shows. Don't be afraid to make inquiries of dealers. They often have what they consider junk stashed away, assuming that it isn't of much value to anyone. Browse around through thrift shops. Study the garage sale ads in your local newspaper. Visit any that sound promising. Sometimes, it pays to telephone, for they may be able to direct you to others who have exactly what you need. Place wanted to buy ads in your local Swappers News or your local newspaper. Be sure to list your phone number. It is amazing what you can find in your local community if you work at it. However, If you can't find enough merchandise locally, run ads in collectors' magazines. Once you have accumulated a decent stock of merchandise, you are ready to begin selling it. If there are publications specializing in your field, by all means advertise there. You have a ready-made audience. Also run ads in the big hobby magazines. Your ad can merely offer your list to interested collectors free or for a stamp, or you can invite them to go to your website. Study the ads in the hobby magazines to make up your own. Just in case you are not familiar with the phrase, SASE means self-addressed, stamped envelope. Most hobby dealers will tell you that they learn more from the collectors who buy from them than they could ever learn from any other source. Sell what you yourself would buy. Go to local crafts fairs and flea markets and set up at table at these venues. Get a website made up. To give you an idea of what collectors buy and sell by mail, here is a partial list of today's collectibles. Phonograph records, streetcar tokens, boat photographs, cigar labels, fruit jar labels, advertising cards, license plates, old magazines, dog pictures, beer labels, gun catalogs, movie magazines, circus posters, paper currency, autographs, music boxes, cartoon books, dolls, salt/pepper shakers, theater programs, hunting licenses, greeting cards, political buttons, valentines, old pencils, baseball cards, cookbooks, atlases, children's books, Beatles items, military medals, stock certificates, stamps, sheet music, old toys, Indian relics, doll clothes, gems, minerals, railroad books, menus, belt buckles, fishing licenses, cigar boxes, airplane photos, comic books, train photos, FBI posters, thimbles, old calendars, newspapers, automobile manuals, maps, coins, diaries, postcards, arrowheads, antique barbed wire, buttons, old jewelry, railroad passes. There's no one area of the library that covers hobbies. Numbers #790-799 cover recreation, but you have to find the specific area or magazines related to your particular hobby. Number 367 covers social clubs. Look in the Encyclopedia of Associations for Hobby Group addresses or Ulrich's periodical directory for a magazine related to your hobby. GaleGroup.com, 800-877 Gale publish the Hobbyist Sourcebook. Some other ones are America's Favorite Pastimes, a directory of hobbies. The Independent Learner's Sourcebook. Resources and materials for selected topics. Fine Scale Modeler Magazine. epub 1612. Waukesha, Wisconsin, 53187. Finescale.com. Model Railroader. 21027, Crossroads Circle. epub 1612. Waukesha, Wisconsin, 53187. ModelRailroader.com. Railroad Model Craftsman. epub 700. Newton, New Jersey, 07860-0700. RRModelCraftsman.com. Hobby websites. There's no one area of the library that covers hobbies. Numbers #790-799 cover recreation, but you have to find the specific area or magazines related to your particular hobby. Look in the Encyclopedia of Associations for Hobby Group addresses or Ulrich's periodical directory for a magazine related to your hobby. Try news groups that start with rec, like Rec Crafts or Rec Models. Railroad. GaleGroup.com, 800-877 Gale publish the Hobbyist Sourcebook. Some other ones are America's Favorite Pastimes, a directory of hobbies. The Independent Learner's Sourcebook, resources and materials for selected topics. Hobby Industry Association of America. 319 East 54th Street. Elmwood, PK, New Jersey 07407. 201-794-1133. Hobby.org. R/C stands for Remote Control Model Vehicles, Boats, Airplanes, etc. howtodothings.com/hobbies. a1hobby.com. hobbyexplosion.com. 4trains.4anything.com. aero-sports.com. amazing1.com. apogrockets.com. arcade-equipment.com. aristocraft.com, remote-controlled models. arrl.org, hobby radio. atlasrr.com, model trains. aveox.com, airplane models. beltsander-races.com. beltsander drag racing. caboosehobbies.com. cse.ucsd.edu/boutedge/railroad/rail-home.html. dbproducts.com. dchobby.com. dragonfly.com, r/c. drml.com. ehobbies.com. escape.com/silverbk/contortion, contortionist. finescale.com. gearnsback.com, electronic. grove.net, radio hobby. gtmodels.com. helsinki.fi/hobbies. hightechred.com, r/c. hobbyco.com. hobbies.net. hobbylobby.com. hobbytalk.com. hobbyteam.com, 800-858-7370, hobby store. hobbytime.com. hobbyworld.com. hobbyexpress.com. horizonhobby.com. howstuffworks.com/rc-toy.htm. kitplanes.com. kvalhobbies.com. lanierrc.com, r/c. lins.com, stamps. majorhobby.com. mcs.com/dsdy/cyberroad.html, trains. megatechhrc.com, r/c. members.home.net/vmss, model ships. miniatures.com. modelboat.com. modelrailroader.com. modelretailer.com. modelrockets.com. modelsupperportal.com. monstersinmotion.com. osengines.com, models. pakaomodel.com. peaklink.com/cactus, airplane models. pitstopracing.com. popcom.com, pop culture. popularmechanics.com. psu.org.modelrailroad. publicmissiles.com. qsilver.queensu.ca/crya, radio yachting. railpace.com. railsrve.com. rcuniverse.com/index.cfm. rccaraction.com, radio control car action. Vehicles. Dead website/ replicasbytyson.com, models. ribbonrail.com/nmra, trains. riders.com, 888-530-9780, hobby store. roxyplex.com/woes. rollercoaster.com. rr-vs.informatic.uni-ulm.de/rr, model trains. repn.org. steamup.com/sulfur, steam engine models. taden.com/hobby. technopower.com. toyfarmer.com. toys4bigboys.com. traincollectors.org. thehobbyshow.com/links.html. towerhobbies.com. train-station.com. ucs.mun.ca/t64tr/nap.html, making stone tools. vls-vp.com, models. worldrps.com, rock paper scissors. wowpages.com/ftj, find tools. yippee.i4free.co.nz/html/win/home and hobby/personal inventory, hobby inventory software. Hobby Canada. Bridgestudio.org. ctcs.org, Canadian Toy Collectors. mock.ca, Model Aeronautics Canada. marhobbies.com, Halifax. x.ab.ca, Edmonton Radio Control Society. hobbywholesale.com, 877-363-3648, Edmonton, UB. mock.ca, Model Aeronautics Association of Canada. Hobby magazines. Try periodical directories at the library for leads on hobby magazines. Try the magazine websites section elsewhere in this book. Try typing the names of some of these magazines into search engines in order to find out if they have a website. Beckett.com. emap.com, magazines. fandata.com, database for fans of anything. hhc.co.uk. ipcmedia.com, British magazines. jonespublishing.com. combach.com, hobby magazines. combach.com/carmodeler. combach.com/scaleautos. combach.com/toytrains. kraus.com, hobby magazines. magstore.com.au. odysseygroup.com. paizopublishing.com. premedia.com. seymour.co.uk, magazines. taunton.com. traplet.com. wiseowlmagazines.com. Model clubs. Fine Scale Modeler Magazine. POG 1612. Waukesha, Wisconsin 53187. Finescale.com. Model Railroader. 21027, Crossroads Circle. POG 1612. Waukesha, Wisconsin 53187. ModelRailroader.com. Railroad Model Craftsman. POG 700. Newton, New Jersey 07860-0700. RRModelCraftsman.com. ScaleModel.net. AMIA.org, Model Yachts. CircusModelBuilders.org. eHobbies.com. Hobbies.net. HobbyLobby.com. impba.com, Model Powerboats. IPMSUSA.org, Plastic Models. combach.com, Models. combach.com/carmodeler. combach.com/toytrains. calbach.com/scaleautos. lionelcollectors.org, Trains. lionel.com, Trains. marklin.com, Trains. members.home.net/vmss, Model Ships. miscellaneous transport.rail. modelrailroader.com. namba.com, Model Boats. nar.org, Rocketry. nmra.org, Trains. qsilver.queensu.ca/crya, Radio Yachting. replicasbytyson.com, Models. tamar.org, Trains. taunton.com. traincollectors.org. ttos.org, Trains. Chapter 4. Selling niche products. Insurance sales. Many people start off in this field on a part-time basis until they realize that a few sales a week will triple and quadruple the income they're used to making. This field is not for everyone. It requires extraordinary discipline and a desire to succeed, along with the belief that you're assisting people with their financial goals and objectives. If you can handle it, the insurance profession can be one of the most for working out of your home. Overhead is relatively low. You can get licensed through your state's insurance department located in your capital city. It may require a certain amount of training and an exam, but once passed you can seek out insurance companies who would be glad to work with you. Insurance job websites: lamortsearch.com, insurancejobs.com, insfile.com, aicpcu.org, Chartered Property and Casualty. Underwriters: allstatecareers.com, amercal.edu, Insurance Education. connectiou.com/talent, connectiou.com/talent/1914/full-vrl-serve, hiaa.org, Health Insurance Association, iia.org, Independent Insurance Agents, iii.org, Insurance Information Institute, insjobs.com, insurance.ce.com, insurancejrnl.com, insurancerouters.com, insurancerouters.com/insjobs/jobs.htm, insure.com, investprogram.org, Insurance Vocational Education Student Training, jacobson-associates.com, limare.com, Life Insurance Job Education, NAU.org, National Association of Health Underwriters, NICE.org, National Association of Insurance Commissioners, nationjob.com/financial, onramp.net/ICC, paint.com, Professional Insurance Agents, rollinssearch.com, CIC.com, National Alliance for Insurance Education and Research, Jewelry Sales, Repair. There are self-employed part-time jewelers around who learn the trade of appraising diamonds and other jewelry and then sell retail to people they know, usually engagement rings. The pitch is that you can offer jewelry cheaper because you don't have the overhead. You can get diamond catalogs for wholesalers and show them to prospective customers who choose what they want. You get it from the wholesaler already in a ring or set the ring yourself, then sell it to them with a guarantee that they should go to a local jeweler and get it appraised, and if the ring is not appraised at over $300 more than you charged, offer them a full refund for the ring back or a $100 cash return. There are several jobs in the jewelry trade like engraving, appraisal, setting, cutting. alpha-supply.com, Jewelry Making Supplies. chub.com/projEWL.html, diamondregistry.com, engraversjournal.com, GIA.org, jewelrycraftsmag.com, lapidaryjournal.com, midwestgems.com, preciousgemstones.com, Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges of Technology, 2101 Wilson Boulevard, number 302, Arlington, Virginia 22201, 703-336-6850, fax 703-247-4533, info@accsct.org, accsct.org, info about schools which offer jeweler courses, California Institute of Jewelry Training, 5800 Winding Way, Carmichael, California 95608, jewelrytraining.com, Federal Trade Commission, Public Reference, Washington, D.C. 20580, 202-326-2222, ftc.gov, Free Booklet, About Fine Jewelry, Gemological Institute of America, Gemological Trade Laboratory, 1180 Avenue of the Americas, NYC 10036, 800-421-7250, 212-221-5858, 760-603-4000, Carlsbad, GIA.edu, GIA.org, does independent appraisals, offers jeweler courses, Jewelers Circular Keystone, Chilton Co. 1 Chilton Way, Radnor, Pennsylvania 19089. 610-964-4148. Chilton.com. Magazine. Jewelers of America. 1185 Avenue of the Americas. 30th FL. NYC 10036. 212-768-8777. Fax, 212-768-8087. Contact us at jewelers.org. JIC@jewelryinfo.org. Jewelers.org. Jewelryinfo.org. Information about jewelry. Jewelersboard.com. 213-627-4238. Lunch sales. Make specialty and conventional sandwiches for deli to hungry office workers. Create a menu of what you're prepared to offer for lunches and distribute them to if possible in your area. Simply ask for permission to walk through once a day at around 10 o'clock to noontime, asking if anyone wants a sandwich and a cold pop. You may even need help in making the lunches. If you don't want to make the lunches yourself, another angle deals with area restaurants and delis to provide the food. You will deliver fresh and hot. Your menu will consist of these restaurants' various house specialties, one restaurant's menu highlighted per day, so that makes 5 different restaurants on the same day a week, something like Monday, Mexican takeout. Tuesday, Chinese takeout. Wednesday, deli takeout. Thursday, pizza by the slice. Friday, fish and chip takeout. You make a prior deal with the restaurants, taking a straight 20 to 25% off the retail price for yourself. They're expecting your order. You call them up on the phone, place the order, drive there, pick it up, drive back to the office and give everyone their food. They always pay upfront for the food they order. Get a cell phone number so they can call you and place orders. Expect tips for going out of your way. If somebody calls you at 3 in the afternoon with a Big Mac attack or wants a case of beer, deliver it for a fee or a tip. Food business, sales. There are many business possibilities that can be built on products from your kitchen: candies, jams, pies, egg rolls and special recipes of all descriptions. You can produce any one or more food products or specialize in one category, such as diet foods, sugarless pastries, ethnic dishes, strudel, cabbage rolls, breads, or old-fashioned meals. The same general business approach will work with most of them. Food sales have made many people rich for 2 reasons. 1. Food is something everybody eats at least 3 times a day. It's a constant repeat business. 2. If you make a success of unique food product A, there are other neighborhoods in your local area where you could open stores or sell through the supermarket chains, and there are many franchises that are supported by one main type of food. The latest one I read was about some guy who blew air through ice cream and is now selling this new ice cream-like product through independent franchisers at hundreds of shopping malls. Weight loss food products are huge. I read about a woman who created a low-fat, low-sugar, uses artificial sweetener, bakery, and she is doing great. The downside to food sales is that it is one of the most strictly regulated businesses around. You have to label everything to account for people with allergies. You need to be aware of product liability laws when selling food. Your first decision is to select a line of products. What will sell in your area? If there are a lot of a particular ethnic groups, that may be good or bad for a potential business. Good because people will know what makes your dishes are, bad because every housewife makes the same thing. Where you live will have a lot to do with type marketing you use. In a rural area, you might check with stores to carry your products, or it might be better to build a route and deliver fresh to several stores and or individuals on a daily or weekly basis. An alternative is to preserve your products, freeze, can, dry, so they can be accumulated and sent over longer distances. Shipping and advertising costs are higher in rural areas, but operating costs are lower. In more densely populated areas, you have more choices and more marketing opportunities in the immediate area. Sometimes you can simply advertise your products for pickup or special order and be in business. When you wholesale, you are spared the extra effort of selling to individuals and have less waste because you fill orders but you don't get as much for your products. Will you rely on your retailers to find, sell to and collect from the customers, or should you do all that yourself and pocket the extra markup? The answer might well be influenced by your personality as well as other, more practical considerations like how much time you have and the size of your market. An easy way to handle your price list is to print retail prices only and simply inform the client of his discount. This way, the client and store clerks can refer to a ready-made price list. It is easy for your retailers to sell your products. For some products, it would be wise to have stands or display cartons made to help assure your products will be displayed tastefully and to make it easy for the retailer to show and sell your products at their best. These could be cardboard or masonite, and you can have your name or brand put on them to prevent them being used for other products. You can even lend them to the accounts with an understanding as to their use. As your wholesale business grows, you should consider advertising now and then. It will help retail sales, which in turn, helps wholesale sales. Although these may sound like little things, making your products easy to display, price and sell is the way to make big things happen. Retailing requires advertising. Since you do not have a store where many people can see your products each day, you need some way to get out the word and keep your products before the public. Word of mouth is great, highest quality, but slow in the beginning. Think about an ad in the local paper, a pair of magnetic signs on your car, a cake logo, your name and phone number, notices on community bulletin boards, even announcements on the local radio or cable station. Arrange to have some of your products given away as prizes at community affairs or auctioned at fundraisers, anything that will help make people aware of your products. In this business, like any other, you must keep records to tell how you are doing, learn from your experience and keep out of trouble with the IRS. While it is easy to stay small, it is also quite possible to graduate to supplying gourmet dishes to restaurants or delicatessens or packaging your products for supermarket sales. If you get this far, depending on what you sell, you may need government inspection of your products and workplace. Always keep your eyes open and your imagination alive. Be on the lookout for that special need that you can fill. I know a woman who created a huge yogurt factory out of a small business and another guy who created a big mushroom business out of a small mushroom farm. When you process and sell any type of food, you may come under any number of state or local regulations. Some of these will prevent you from making donuts in your kitchen and selling them to the local market. Check out number 641 at the library for cookbooks. Food service books are at hashtag 647.95 or TX911.3 at the library. AAMP.com, Meat Processing. ACFchefs.org, 800-617-4223, American Culinary. ADVianstar.com, 800-346-0085, Meat Processing. agr.gc.ca/index_e.phtml, Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada. foodci.uogulph.ca. foodprocessing.com. foodreference.com. producecareers.com. creamerfeed.com, Poultry Marketing. americanbakers.org. aramaarcade.com, 215-238-3000, Institutional Food. atsca.org, Fish. amane.org, American Wholesale Markets. bakery.net, arbanet.com, 800-638-0924. bakery-net.com. bakingbusiness.com. bbga.org, Bread Bakers Guild. barbecuesearch.com, Barbecue Business. brockco.com, Contract Food Service Co. canners.com, several magazines. candyusa.org, Chocolate MFG. Association. caterzource.com, 800-932-3000. 3632, Magazine. c-foodindustry.com, Food Industry, East Europe. CFCCCA, Canada. cfia-aci.ca/english/directory/main.dir.html. cfsn.fda.gov/list.html, Center for Food Safety and Applied Nutrition. Chilton.com, Monthly Food Engineering. cree.org, Hotel, Restaurant, and Institutional. cifsd.ca, Food Science. Compass-USA.com, 704-329-4000, Institutional. Confectioner.com. Cooking.com. Dead website, try dmoz-odp.org is dead, go to dmoz-odp.org/recreation/food. ec.europa.eu/enterprise/food/index_n.htm, Enterprise, Food Industry Overview. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Bernard_food_industries, Bernard Food Industries is an American food products corporation. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/food_industry. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/TUI_of_agriculture_food_and_allied_industries, trade union. Epicurious.com, magazine. escoffier.com/nonscape/employ.shtml. urmscfood.nl, European Master Degree Food Studies, Wageningen University. fairchildpub.com, 800-247-6622, supermarket. fancyfoodshows.com. fda.gov, Food and Drug Administration. fdaregistrar.com, FDA registration of foods. fdf.org.uk, Food and Drink Federation. fdi.org, Food Distributors International. fimp.aem.cornell.edu, Cornell Food Industry Management Program. FineFoodAlliance.com, Canadian Association. Fishjobs.com. fmi.org, Food Marketing Institute. food.gov.uk/foodindustry, Food Standards Agency Britain. food.gov.uk/foodindustry. foodbeveragecanada.com. food-business-review.com, Food Market Research Reports. foodchain.org, Donated Food. foodindustry.com. foodindustrycenter.umn.edu. foodindustryjobs.com. foodingredientsonline.com. foodinstitute.com. food-journalist.net. foodleadership.pdx.edu, Food Industry Leadership Center. foodmanagement.com. foodmanagementsearch.com, Food Industry Management Recruiting. foodmanufacturing.com. foodnavigator.com. foodnet.com/service. foodnet.fic.ca. foodonline.com, resources for food processing professionals. foodpeople.com. foodprocessingmachinery.com, Food Processing and Machinery Supply Association. foodreference.com. foodreference.com/html/upcomingfoodevents.html, Food Festival and Show Index. foodsafety.gov, Gateway to Government Food Safety Information. foodscience.afisc.csiro.au, Food Science Australia. foodservice.com. foodservice.com/employment. foodstandards.gov.uk/foodindustry. foodwinemag.com. freshcut.com. fsis.usda.gov, the Food Safety and Inspection Service. fsnet.pnn.com, Food Service Network. generalmills.com, Food Products. headlines.com/subject/industry/food.htm. hindsuperiorvalue.com. hi.net. highpressure.org.uk, Food Processing Info. Hoovers.com. iafis.org, Food Industry Suppliers. ibisworld.com, Ibis World Food Industry Reports. ift.org/cms/?PID=1000411, Introduction to the Food Industry. ipca.com, International Publishing Company. jobcenter.bakingbusiness.com/jobcenter. mafsi.org, Manufacturers Agents for the Food. Malvern, Pa. marketresearch.com. marriott.com, 301-380-9000, Institutional Food. metommy.org, Meat Industry. mhbizlink.com/grocer, Canadian Grocer. msu.edu/user/foodmark, Food Marketing Association. nace.net, Catering Executives. nacufs.org, National Association of College and University Food Services. nal.usda.gov, National Agriculture Library. nandinichemical.com, Food Industry Reports from India. ncacater.org, National Caterers Association. ncausa.org, National Coffee Association. nfi.org, National Fisheries Institute. nfis.com.au, National Food Industry Strategy. nfpa-food.org, National Food Processors Association. nicra.org, Ice Cream and Yogurt Retailers. nightclub.com/ncb/market/find-a-job.html. nmsc.com, Food Service. nrn.com, Nation's Restaurant News. onboard-services.com, Airline, Ship, and Catering. ontariomaple.com, Ontario Maple Syrup Makers. ota.org, Organic Trade Association. penton.com, Food Management Mag, Restaurant. pfionline.com, Processed Food Industry. pma.com, Produce Marketing Association. processfood.com, Food Processing Machinery. producemerchandising.com. restaurant.org. restaurantbiz.com. remagy.com, Restaurants and Institutions. rwf.org, 800-898-2849, Women in Food Service. Service Industry. seafoodbusiness.com. sfa.org, Snack Food Association. sodexhomarriott.com, Food Service 2. Specialist. specialty-food.com. supermarketnews.com. technica.com, Tools for Food and Beverage Industry. tfer.com, Thomas Food and Beverage Marketplace. University Food Services. uspastry.org. vinesolutions.com, Food Industry Accounting. viscase.com, Packaging Products in the Food. webfoodpros.com. wellwiz.com.tw, Supplier of food flavors, food additives, seasonings and food ingredients for the food industry. Wholesalers Directory. wilton.com, Cake making courses.